Hello, hello. There's nobody. we goofed up. Oh, here's some peeps. Sorry guys, I made a mistake and we had 2 live streams, but this is the one you want to be on. That was my bad. Hey Jackie. Hey Carol. Jesse. What's FM? I love you. Samantha. Janella. Hi guys. So I'm going to give it a second while everybody comes over to this one because I made a mistake. Sorry about that. So far all we have is a plate. All right, so while we're waiting a little bit to let some people to switch over to this stream, wanted to remind you guys that we've got the shirts for sale. So we have our merch at sideserfcakes.com. And as of right now, if you purchase anything from the store, then up until the 15th, you'll automatically be entered into a bit of a little drawing. And we're gonna pick one person that gets to pick anything from our store and they get it for free. So it's kind of like a fun little thing. And we'll announce that, I think we said the 16th, so the day after. So that's pretty cool. Oh man, did you guys watch Buddy versus Duff? The finale was Sunday. Oh my God, it was so fun. So fun. We lost. If I'm gonna be honest, we lost. However, we won the Star Wars challenge. And that was so fun. I loved our cake. I have to agree. I think Team Duff should have won. But of course I'm biased, so. Thank you. You said Yoda was awesome. Thank you. That was such a fun cake to make. Yoda is all kinds of wrinkly and just a really interesting character, so that was super fun. I've got some stuff here that, so basically for this challenge, I wanted to time myself. I'm like, I'm only gonna give myself 20 minutes to make a completed cake, because usually my cakes take a really long time, like anywhere between, on the short end, I would say an hour, and then, you know, they can go up to 40 hours. Like you can go forever. I could work on a cake, you know, for a full week. Now, mind you, to keep the cake fresh, you only have a few days, so you have to work your butt off at the end. But anyway, so I wanted to time myself, and I was like, all right, we're gonna do 20 minutes, and I'm going to make a realistic food cake, and I have an idea of what I'm gonna do, but this was kind of a last minute decision to do this, so I might mess up. This might not go as planned. Here, I got my hands in here. So I'm giving myself 20 minutes, so I'm gonna rush a little bit, but I'm also gonna talk you guys through what I'm thinking, and then if something goes wrong or right, I'll let you know. But this is a cake I've never made, and this cake is going to be like a pasta with a meat sauce, like a red sauce. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make like spaghetti, but we'll get into that. I'm kind of making it up as I go. So this will be great. So I wanted to show you, I have a few things here that I think I'm gonna need, but I'm not even 100% sure yet. I've got some buttercream set aside. I've got this fun lime green, just to make things real weird with a, it looks like a pasta, but it's got lime green on the inside. I've got a rolling pin. I've got a little cornstarch. This is what I use when the modeling chocolate, which I also have. The modeling chocolate, if it gets sticky, I'll throw down some cornstarch. And just like a few other things I think I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use an extruder too to make the pasta, so I'll get into that in a little bit. But I think I've got everything, and hopefully I don't have to run away. Dave's here too, just so you guys know. So if you guys have any questions, Dave is my husband, and he's sitting down over here. So if you have any questions, then go ahead and ask in the chat, and he can read them off to me because I'm going to be pretty busy staring at the cake.
So we have to set timers and stuff too.
Yes, so we're going to set a timer and we're going to make sure that we do this right. Like I'm a little bit nervous I'm not going to be able to pull it off, but hopefully I can. I saw somebody asked, is there a difference between using cornstarch and powdered sugar? The difference is powdered sugar is going to get sticky naturally because it's sugar, and the cornstarch it doesn't get sticky. So it's easier to work with, and it really doesn't have any flavor. You just kind of wipe it away. So I prefer to use cornstarch, but sometimes I use powdered sugar. I'll switch it up. Thank you. You guys are talk about Buddy versus Duff. Thank you so much. I really, people keep asking, they're like, is there going to be a third season? And my answer is I have no idea. So I hope so. If there is, I hope that there's a third season, and I hope that I'm part of it. So we'll see. All right. So Dave's going to set this timer. I've got cake set aside. My cake's actually gluten-free. We just made a gluten-free cake, so I'm using my leftover cake. But I got here's my buttercream. What'd you say?
The timer we could put on the screen.
I know. I wish I had a time. We're still a little new to this, so we're gonna get better. I was hoping to have a timer on the screen, but I'm gonna ask Dave for time checks throughout so that he can tell me, if I'm down to the wire. All right, so he's gonna set that now. Go ahead, Dave.
You ready?
I'm ready.
20 minutes?
20 minutes. Don't forget, guys, you can ask questions.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my fun lime green buttercream. I'm using a plate rather than a cake board because I think it's more fun for what we're working on. And I'm going to place down my vanilla cake. This is gluten-free and it smells delicious. We've been using a lot of lime green on things lately, so we're using lime green buttercream. And this is just American buttercream. It's one of the more simple buttercreams. I'm gonna add that layer.
Matches our logo.
It does. I think we're kind of leaning towards using green, this lime green color on things. But yeah, it matches our logo. We've got a lot of lime green going on. It's just a fun color. Our cakes are fun. Okay, I'm adding my second layer of cake. Now this is far too large. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this. I'm using a small serrated, I'm actually using just a regular old steak knife. And that's because this cake is so small that if I bust out like a big bread knife, it's just too big. I wanna use this thing instead. So I'm gonna go in. And since this cake is just for me and Dave, I'm not wearing gloves. He said he doesn't mind. I'm like nervous. Oh, so while I'm working on this, I already know right off the top of my head, I'm gonna want to save some of these crumbs because I'm gonna use them later. So I'm gonna get a nice clean cut here without any buttercream, and I'm gonna save this. So put this in my little container. I'm gonna use that for some texture when I start making my sauce.
I'm looking for some questions. The rest of them nailed it. So what nailed it? So were you on?
So, I was on the third season of Nailed It.
Cakeophobia.
It's called Cakeophobia, and it was it was basically just about people's fears. And so it's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. It's so fun. That show is so fun. So I was a judge. I feel like if I competed, that might not be fair since I have a lot of experience working with cake. But so I was a judge on the show, and it was so much fun. We were just kind of like goofing off, and everybody just made hilarious cakes, and it was awesome. I hope
Did the contestant really win $10,000?
They sure do win that money. Yep. Oh yeah. So yeah, Dave said, do they really win that $10,000? Somebody asked, and they absolutely do. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, with that show, you got to be fair too. These people have never really made anything remotely close to that. I don't even think that they really cook or anything. So it's like doing something brand new for the first time. It's pretty wild.
How long does small cakes like the pickle cake take?
I think the pickle cake took me about an hour and a half. So smaller cakes are around that, but they, oops, wrong knife. But they do range. They're not always gonna be that time, but it really just depends. Depends on what I'm making. If there's a lot of color involved, that's gonna take more time, hand painting. So I don't wanna, because this is going to be a 20-minute challenge, I don't wanna make this too big. I realized, like I wanna cut this down quite a bit to make sure that I'm not trying to cover too much space. This is not, it's still a very heaping amount of pasta, but if it's too big, I won't have enough time to do it. See, I'm thinking ahead. I've done this before.
Richard asked if I bake as well, and what is my favorite cake?
Dave, you?
You can't hear
No, I'm saying they asked about you.
me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Dave is the baker. So I bake a little bit, but Dave mostly does the baking. So all the like flavors and all the awesome fun stuff in terms of baking is done by him. And it's great because then that allows me to focus on decorating. What was the second half of that?
What is my favorite cake that you've done?
Oh yeah, Dave, what is your favorite cake?
My birthday cake from Texas Cake House was pretty good.
Come over. Sorry guys, I got a little messy. I had to wash my hands. So Dave said that his favorite cake is from Texas Cake House, which was a show that he and I were on. It was 2017. It was on Food Network, and it like focused on like us making cakes for people in Austin. And his favorite cake was the episode where we made a birthday cake for him. It was this really cool like tattoo inspired goat, because he's the goat.
And it was bacon.
Oh yeah, and it was bacon flavored. It had maple bacon, right?
It was bacon cake with maple icing.
Bacon cake with maple icing. He actually used bacon fat in it.
Yeah.
He baked his own cake and I decorated it. All right, this is the messy part. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna clean this up just a little more. See, it's like I'm plating it already.
Carol asked if you've gone to culinary school.
I did not go to culinary school. I went to Ohio State, but I went for art. So I was a fine art major. So I have a bachelor's in fine art, and my concentration was actually drawing and painting. But I had a lot of fun taking my like sculpting classes. I didn't know that I was gonna end up making cakes for a living, but I knew I wanted to be into art, so. All right, that's a little cleaner. I'm gonna push this slightly into the center. Boop, it's never too late to fix it. All right. Yeah.
Asking about a Natalie versus Ralph show.
Yeah, it's funny because I've heard a lot of people after watching Boy vs. Duff, they want to see a Natalie versus Ralph, and
Tweet at Food Network.
yeah, if you guys want to see that, you let Food Network know, because Ralph and I have talked about it. We actually text. We're friends now, and yeah, and we would love to do it. You guys came up with the idea, and we're like, oh my god, that's a great idea. We would absolutely have a blast doing that. So.
Tweet at Food Network.
So yes, if you want to see a Natalie versus Ralph, tweet to Food Network. Tweet them and say, hey guys, they're in. So this is going to be a crumb coat. I wanted to explain. This is just some buttercream, and I'm just going around and I'm covering the entire cake. The reason you do this is because it seals in the moisture of the cake, but also it'll give me a nice smooth surface to add modeling chocolate to. I'm almost done with the cake portion. Just can't seem to keep it clean. But yeah, Natalie versus Ralph would be so fun. Ralph is super talented. But it's funny because he does similar work to me because he's a sculptor too. So it's not like he's making wedding cakes. His thing is also like crazy sculpted cakes. So you know, he's as much as he's my competition, he's also like, I appreciate what he does. So I think we both do. And that makes it a fun relationship. I think we'd have a lot of fun competing, even like either together or against each other. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge now. I want it to chill a bit.
Next question is, when you airbrush modeling chocolate, do you need to use an oil-based, I guess, food coloring?
So when you airbrush modeling chocolate, they actually sell food color that's specific for airbrushing modeling chocolate. So you're gonna use something that typically has an oil, or sorry, has alcohol rather than water as the base, but that doesn't mean that you can't pull it off. If you add layers, light layers, and you let them dry in between, the color won't beat up. And I need to clean my table. I'm trying to be clean.
And we're just under 11 minutes.
Oh my God, we're halfway in?
Yes.
Oh, we're almost halfway in. Okay, I gotta hurry. So here I have it's plum jam. And what I want to do now is I'm going to make this more of like a red sauce color. So I'm going to add just a hint of red and I'm going to add a hint of orange. So it's sauce time.
Sauce time.
I'm going to start with 1 drop and then I will add more as I go. You can always add more. It's a little hard to take away. So I got a whisk because I want this to get all smooth. So this red just out of the bottle is just a little bit too, you know, bright red. This doesn't scream like tomato sauce to me, so that's why I'm adding some orange. Well, came right out.
Zoe asked what type of buttercream we use. So we do American and Swiss meringue.
Yes. We use, Swiss is gonna be a little bit less sweet and it's a little bit smoother, I would say.
But we use both.
We use both, but I would say that Swiss is that smoother, a little less sweet flavor, and then American buttercream is gonna be a bit sweeter, and it just has a different texture. It's like what you expect when you go to when you buy a cake anywhere. Like it's like in America at least. Okay, so now I'm gonna take these were my scraps from earlier. I wanna add some texture to the sauce. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break this up, and this is gonna kind of be like a meat sauce. So my meat is going to be these bits of cake. I always like to add texture, for sure. Do you have a favorite buttercream? Do you prefer American or do you prefer?
I definitely prefer Swiss.
Dave prefers Swiss. You know, I really like cream cheese though.
I like cream cheese too.
Yeah. Cream cheese is kind of like, sort of like a take on American, but then you also have the cream cheese flavor.
Tang.
Yeah, you got the tang from the cream cheese, but then also the sweetness from the sugar, because there's quite a bit of sugar in it. So this is looking still a little too bright red. I am going to muddy this with a little bit of green food color. So by adding the green, it's gonna bring that red down a little because they're complementary colors. So I can't use too much though. I'm gonna put it off to the side. It'll turn brown if I add too much. So I just need to add a little bit so that it's almost like you're toning it. See how much deeper red that is? So it's just a little bit of green. So you do that instead of adding brown because it's more natural. In nature, it's gonna look a little bit more real. Brown might make it too brown. So just a little bit at a time.
Yoda green.
It is Yoda green. So I think that's a pretty decent sauce. I want to add a little more crumbs, I think. But I gotta move on. All right, my cake up.
Gary said that the Natalie versus Sunny show would be good.
I absolutely love Sunny. Sunny's awesome. So Sunny was on Team Duff with me, and he is so much fun. I think competing against Sunny would be really fun. I think competing with him is a little better because he's really, really good. There we go, a little chunky.
Jackie asked for a shout out. It's her birthday.
Ah, Jackie, happy birthday. Yay. It's also our friend Amanda's birthday.
All right.
Yay. Yeah, we made her,
That's your leftover.
yeah, this is her leftover cake, yeah. She's the gluten-free one. Yeah, we made her a boxed wine cake. All right, I think that looks good. I gotta move on. So, I'm gonna grab some parchment paper. And I'm gonna wash my hands. I'll be right back. Whew. All right, what am I doing? I need okay, I've got the, what is this thing called? It's extruder. Can you tell I'm like, I know, how much time do I have?
You have just over 5 minutes.
Oh my God, 5 minutes. Okay, so I have these different circles. I feel like this might be like an angel hair pasta, and I don't want to do that because that'll take me too long. Some of these are individuals, and I also think that's gonna take me too long. So I've got these that are like little shower heads, and I think I'm gonna go with the thicker one. So it is more of like a spaghetti pasta. So I need my modeling chocolate, that's here. This is already an ivory color, which is nice because the pasta is going to be a bit ivory. So I'm gonna roll it up. Oh no. I feel like I'm on a show right now. Okay, place it in, and then you push it down to the bottom. Into the extruder. It's funny because this is covered up because of Texas Cake House. They cover up logos on things. It's Greeked. But anyway, so I got my shower head. My shower head goes into the end, and then I place it on. And uh-oh. I didn't fill it enough. This is gonna kill me on time.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. You know, when we made the cake for your birthday on Texas Cake House, your brother used one of these. So that's kind of funny.
Is that one?
Yeah, it was this one. And it's funny because it was a lot easier to do the cake with him because I didn't have to do this part. It's hard. Look at these. Woo.
Where'd you get that extruder?
So I got this at, I want to say I bought it online. I can't really remember. I know there's some cake shops who sell them now, and also some art stores. So I'm just gonna keep going for a little bit. This is the part that is going to kill me. Yeah, fill her up again and open it back up.
3 minutes.
There's no way I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna try really hard though.
Too much hand washing.
I know. It's hard because when your hands are dirty and you're working on a cake, it's like impossible because you get colors everywhere and it's a pain. All right. So there's the inside. Zoop.
How do you call the modeling chocolate without making it go soft?
Modeling chocolate does get kind of soft when you add the food color. So a lot of times if I'm having an issue and it is too soft, I will let it sit, get back to room temperature, and then knead it till it's back to this texture. So there is no way to color it without it getting soft. It will always get pretty soft. Mm-hmm. Sorry, this thing is like flinging around.
Would we consider doing a YouTube video where I decorate and you bake?
A YouTube video where you decorate and I bake? That sounds fun. Would you be down, Dave?
I'm not very good at decorating, but I did do that globe during the show.
Yeah, he made Dave, when we were on Texas Cake House, he made a moon, like a face on a moon, and he did a really good job. So I'm actually not. I feel like you could pull it off.
Could you pull off the baking part?
Yeah, I know. My cake, I feel like.
Special.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to. I wonder what I would make. I don't know if I would make something like. I'd probably try to do something too elaborate and then freak out and goof it up. Wait, are we being timed while we do this?
Speaking of which, you're coming up on just a minute left.
No. All right. So sometimes you run out of time and you have to give yourself 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
I was talking too much. I can't help it. I'm sitting here saying 5 minutes and I'm like, is that even enough time? No.
How long did the gravedigger cake take?
How long did the gravedigger cake take?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that is a great question.
That was a birthday cake.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I'm really bad at like gauging how long things take. I get lost in it and then I kind of forget. And it's a very popular question, so I should probably be better at that. I'm gonna start paying more attention. Obviously, I don't know how long things take because I thought maybe I could pull this off in 20 minutes, but I think it's this thing that's killing me. All right, I'm gonna do one more before I start. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta figure this out. What should I do? I don't have enough pasta. Oh, you're such a jerk. You knew.
5 more minutes?
It's
adding 5 minutes.
okay.
Go.
It's really soft too. So on top of that, so if this was for a TV show, they would love it right now because I am failing. It's the modeling chocolate is a little soft because it's kind of warm in here. I should have turned the temp down. That's gonna take too long. All right, so let's say this is a real competition. My next thing I would do is I would move this. This is my backup plan. So to save myself a little bit of time, I'm gonna roll out some modeling chocolate. I'm gonna cover the cake in the modeling chocolate. So at least lime green isn't showing. At least it'll be tan. Maybe I can get one side of it done.
Mike Bob in the chat, who ordered the gravedigger cake for his son.
Oh, that's awesome.
Derek says hello. He still watches the gravedigger cake video.
Oh, that's awesome. Hi, Derek. That's so cool. People love that cake.
Haven't done a monster truck since.
You know, I actually have an order coming up for a monster truck. By coming up, I mean somebody placed it. It's probably going to be still a little while, but I'm like, yes, I could do that one. I've done it once, I can do it again. So your cake inspired somebody else to get it for their birthday. That's kind of cool. Can you believe how much I've lost? I would lose. I did a competition show a very long time ago, and I failed miserably, and it was because I ran out of time. You think I could learn my lesson?
Duff Till Dawn.
Yeah, it was called Duff Till Dawn. So it was with Duff. That's when I first met him. And yeah, I failed. I was on there with Julia. That was sad. No, we were fine. It was still really fun. It was just like, whoa, I underestimated how much time that would take. I was also very new to making cakes. Turns out I haven't learned anything. All right. It's sticky. All right. I gotta get the crumbs off. Maybe I should have said I could make a bite of spaghetti in 20 minutes. All right. So let's cover this. So at least it'll look like noodle color, even though I won't be able to cover the whole thing. Yeah, I like to try to keep the temp of the room around 73 to 74. Especially this particular modeling chocolate, it's quite a bit softer than if you make it yourself. If you make it yourself, you can make it more firm. This one's really soft, so I should have considered that. But I usually keep the room at room temperature. But if it starts to get a little warmer than that, it is rough.
Do you prefer modeling chocolate to fondant for details?
Yeah, I'm just more comfortable with modeling chocolate rather than fondant. I feel like fondant, you can just, it's just easier to work with. It's more like a clay rather than kind of like a marshmallow.
And we have the tutorial.
Yeah, if you guys want to, are you talking about the modeling chocolate? Yeah, if you guys want to make the modeling chocolate, we have a tutorial showing you how. You can make it at home. And it can be a little finicky, but honestly, it's just like 2 ingredients. So it's more so you got to get down the way of making it rather than, it's not a complicated recipe, but it's finicky. Okay. All right, so I'm so running out of time. So my plan was to do.
You're under 30 seconds.
Oh, I failed so hard. Okay, so my plan is to do this and make it all look really nice and swirly. And I ended up talking more than I should have, I think. You know, like when you get when your pasta is like plated nicely and it's all swirly? You know, Dave, right?
Yep. If you weren't talking, then the stream would be boring.
That's true. Oh my God. You know, 5 more minutes. Who am I kidding?
You lost.
Who am I kidding? I need more than that. So this is the idea. This would definitely, like if this is all curled up all around, it definitely looks like some spaghetti. So I'm only going to do one side of this, and then I am going to make a video on Monday and showing this completed. So I'm only going to do one side to show you guys because I ran out of time and I'm really bad at estimating how long this will take. But I think that was pretty good. Huh?
Yeah, finish it anyway.
Yeah? You guys want to watch me make more? All right. So this is a big plate of pasta, isn't it? Maybe I should smush this a little. In the modeling chocolate, it just kind of, like you can push it in if I feel like I want it to be up here. You just kind of smush it in. It's pretty easy to work with. It's it's a little sticky, but in a good way.
Randy's in the chat. She really liked her Oscar cake.
Randy. So Randy, she won. Well, we did this little. I don't know what to call it. It's a drawing. So we do a drawing on Patreon. So if you guys want to check out Patreon, patreon.com/sideserfcakes. So we had all of our patrons enter their pets, and I made one of their pets as a cake for a video on YouTube. And Oscar was an adorable wiener dog, and he was so cute. And people really loved that cake. So I'm glad you liked it because other people did too. That's a win-win.
We're gonna have more Patreon stuff coming up.
Yeah, I've got another plan for, I'm gonna do a drawing every month. And the one coming up, I am super excited about. And I think that, I don't know what day it is anymore. I'm pretty sure early next week is when I'm going to go over like what we're gonna do for that one. It's gonna be a little different. It's not going to be pets this time. I might go back to pets later, but for now, I'm gonna switch over and I'll give you guys a bit of a hint. So I feel like I want to have you guys design the cake, but it's gonna be like a little, I don't know how to describe it without giving it away. You guys will kind of do a sketch of the cake and then send a photo in to me, and then I'll randomly pick one of yours. But the idea behind it is that I don't want you guys to feel like you have to be like amazing artists to do it. You don't necessarily have to be the best, drawer ever to sketch the cake. So you can pick like certain things about the cake that you want it to look like, and then I'll go in and get creative with it. So don't feel like you have to be like an artist or anything. And if you are, that's great. If your sketch is awesome, then that's awesome. But you don't have to be amazing for this to be a cool cake. I'm pretty darn excited about it. We'll be able to have some fun with it.
Garrett asked if we're getting excited for football, for the Browns.
Yes, I'm so excited for football. I'm excited for any sport at this point. We'll watch some water polo. But yeah, we're definitely ready for football. We are from Cleveland originally, both of us, so we are Browns fans. If you guys follow football, you'll know what that means. We're used to losing, that's what that means. I definitely should have made this a smaller amount of cake. I talked about it too. Should have just used one slice.
What are some good
Or
starter
one layer.
supplies for a beginner getting into cake sculpting? That's a good question.
So if you're a beginner and you want to get into cake sculpting, I would say some of the things that you would need is definitely some sculpting tools. You by no means have to have really expensive sculpting tools, but you do want to get yourself at least a set of, like, maybe, I think they come in a set of 5 typically. So you get yourself some sculpting tools, you get yourself a good recipe. Now whether you can always do like a box cake if you're just starting out, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you have like a nice recipe that like a good go-to, and you use that recipe, you just make yourself some layers of cake and you can just go in and just have fun with it, honestly. You got your tools, you got some modeling chocolate, you got your cake, you gotta have your buttercream.
Cakes, we like a more dense cake.
That's true. We do like a more dense cake for sculpting. If your cake is too, if it's too light, like if I was think of like an angel food cake, right? That like really airy, pillowy cake, that is not going to sculpt very well at all. So you gotta get yourself a nice dense cake.
And the way you get it dense is by replacing some of the butter with oil.
Get over here, come on. So fun tip is if you use oil instead of butter, you can even replace some of the butter with oil, then you're gonna get a much more dense cake. And that is great for sculpting. So you can mess with, like, you just modify your recipe. You get like a good one and then you just tweak it and kind of figure out what you like about it. Like you can replace, like, sometimes, like if you're gonna do a boxed mix and you wanted to kind of like make it just a little bit better, you can do things like substitute milk for water and things like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a
add
good
an egg.
one. What was that?
Add an egg.
Yeah, adding an egg gives it like a nicer texture. So instead of, typically I think they say like 3 eggs, but if you add another one, it's by no means going to goof up your cake and it gives it a nicer texture. So there's all kinds of like fun tips and stuff on how to like make your box cakes taste delicious.
Is there a way to paint with food coloring alcohol mixture without making the cake shiny after it dries?
The cake's gonna be shiny right after you paint it, and typically by like the next day, it will start to become more matte. But there's a lot of things going on when it comes to that, like the temperature of the room can make it more shiny, the temperature of the cake itself. If there's a lot of humidity in the air, it's gonna make your cake shiny sometimes. So there's all kinds of reasons why a cake might get shiny versus matte. And it's a bit unfortunate, but I try not to let that bug me too much. Like the cake we just made, we had to keep refrigerated and it did end up getting a little shiny. And it's not the easiest thing to work with. I think I'm gonna do like 2 more of these and then I'm gonna add my sauce. I need to fill in some of these holes.
Here's it looks like a comb over cake.
It does look like a comb over cake. Oh man. Sometimes they go through some phases, don't they, the cakes? My hands getting sticky. Oh, I see Lydia made an Iron Man cake, but she's in Florida. I know, I feel you on that. It was probably so warm.
Then that's how we keep cakes moist.
You know,
Wrap 'em, but
yeah.
they're still cool, or still cooling.
Yeah, if you're not going to use your cake until like the next day, if you wrap it in plastic wrap, while it's still just slightly warm, not too warm, but just slightly warm, then it will be really moist. It keeps that moisture inside it, and it's super moist the next day. So that's like a fun tip. Whoop. Whoop. And you can also do, if you feel like your cake's dry, you can always add a simple syrup, which is just half sugar and half water. And you just soak the cake with it. So that's a good one. But if it is dry, honestly, it's probably you just want to tweak your recipe. I know that's not a quick fix, but... And you might be over baking it too. That's another one. There's a few reasons why it could be a little dry.
What is your mixture for hand painting details? Gel food coloring and alcohol, right?
Yeah, when I hand paint, I typically use a very strong alcohol or vodka, or Everclear in my case, typically. Woo! And gel food color. You can also use powder food color. I feel like all the brands are a little different, and none of them are like going to be like just super perfect. They're all just a little different. Some of the food color you can get that's specifically made for painting on chocolate, and those work well, but you do have to typically let those dry, at least the ones I've tried. So you gotta let them dry in layers, and I know that takes a lot of time, so there's good and bad things about each of the different options, but typically I use gel food color with vodka. Sometimes I use water. I feel like the water kind of goes on sort of smoother, but it beads up and you have to like work it until the water starts to evaporate in the food color, and then it'll spread better, but that's kind of a pain too. Let me get this.
Favorite horror movie character?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, if I'm picking a favorite horror movie character, I'm gonna have to go with Freddy, and I know that's probably my husband's, but I'm picking Freddy because he was really fun to. We made a Freddy cake, and that cake was so fun to make. Like, he has all that texture, and the skin, and then in the sweater, and it was just so fun to make that I like prefer Freddy now. Probably for the wrong reason. I feel like I should like him because the movies, but I like him because he's fun to make.
Honestly, agree. One of my favorite movies.
Which one?
Third one.
The Dream Warriors, right? Dave's favorite Freddy movie is Dream Warriors. It's the third one. It's a good one.
Michael Manzi asked for a good buttercream recipe.
We should get a recipe. Well, but we can put up a buttercream recipe.
Yeah.
We should do it. I want to make sure I don't forget anything, but yeah.
Where would we put it? Should we do a video?
We could do a video if you want to.
Easy.
Yeah, maybe next time we put up a video, it'll be man hands because it'll be Dave. I mean, sometimes people think I'm a guy though, and I'm like, wait a minute, do I have man hands? They always go, he did a good job. I'm like, wait a minute. I know my nails aren't pretty, but I have to keep them short for cake. But yeah, we could probably put up a recipe. We'll talk about that, and we will definitely. We'll put it up on YouTube for sure, and we can always let you guys know on social media and stuff when we get that up.
Yeah.
So,
Not follow us already.
yeah. If you guys aren't following us, we're at Sideserf Cakes, mostly Instagram. Twitter, it's Natalie Sideserf, but everything else is at Sideserf Cakes. So that'd be like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is Sideserf Cakes. We're gonna have some fun on TikTok. Lots of quick videos on there.
Do you have a favorite Harry Potter character?
Ooh, you know, I like Harry Potter, but I wouldn't say I have a favorite character, only because I love the movies and everything, but I haven't like read the books and stuff, and I'm a little bit of an older lady. I think I kind of missed the Harry Potter thing. But I do like the movies. I think that they're cute. But I've only seen up to the second one, I think. I bet they get better. I've always tried to get Dave to watch them with me, but maybe now we can. Okay. I got some black food color in there. Oops. All right. So I'm going to add this sauce now. This pasta sauce. Can you believe how much longer that took than I said it was going to? I'm gonna have to call myself out. So this isn't like completely completed. I want to add a few things and mess with it. But for now, for the sake of my quote timed competition, what'd you say?
Ian asked what you were making. Because it doesn't say what it is.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a pasta, like a spaghetti and meat sauce. So I've got my meat sauce. I'm gonna add this to the top. Got some cake.
Danielle did a supply llama cake last week for an order.
Oh.
The video. She said that she used wafer paper and it turned out great.
That's awesome. Danielle made a supply llama like the video we have. That's awesome. I'm glad that you liked it. Or they liked it, right? Like it was for a customer? That's awesome. Good.
Vinny said we should make Jason. Yeah, no kidding. That'd be awesome.
A Jason cake?
Yeah.
I'm already ready for Halloween. Like there's so many fun cakes that you can make.
And then we get orders for too.
Yeah, I get like really good orders from people. They like, I think that they look it up on Google, honestly. And they're like, look at this. Ah, it's in Austin. I'm just gonna let this baby drip. Awesome. Yay. That's nice. Wasn't expecting that. Okay. So, I also want to add what would be Parmesan. Here we go. So this is modeling chocolate. This was ivory and this is white. So I'm going to use the white and I'm going to grate it onto the top. So this modeling chocolate was, look how dirty my hands are. Oh my goodness. This modeling chocolate was refrigerated, so it's going to be nice and hard. So I'm just gonna, see, it looks like a little cheese. Dave, tell me when.
Now.
That's enough for you?
Keep it coming.
Okay. You guys, tell me when. It's just gonna be a big pile of cheese.
It's like an Olive Garden.
It is. This is like an Olive Garden visit. Everybody always wants more. So this is a heaping pile. This is too much, I think. I think if I were to make this again, I would use less cake than I did. And I would make sure that's a little bit more flat. It's kind of a little too domed. So if I'm critiquing my cake that I tried to make really fast, I would say I would make this flat. And I would make sure that the pasta is all the way on the top too, so that when the sauce is over the top, it does this fun, like it seeps into the textured pasta. As you saw, I didn't do the whole top, so we don't get that fun effect until it drips down here. And then yeah, so I would just make it overall a little smaller. I was talking about making it small and I didn't.
You only finished about a half hour late.
Yeah, it only took me, see, I even literally said, it typically takes me about an hour at least to make a cake. And then, yeah, it took me like an hour to, oh my God. I gotta work on this. I failed miserably. Ooh. Oh man. Oh, you followed the Taco Bell cake tutorial?
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. That's a fun one too. And I feel like with that one, I like it because there's like a lot of different fun elements. So when you put it all together, you're adding like the wafer paper lettuce, you have the beef, which is crushed up cake, the cheese is shredded in a similar way to this, and then you have your taco shell. So you get all these different like things you get to make. I feel like it's a fun cake.
Sammy said after watching this, she thinks she can do it. If anybody tries our cakes, use the hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag Sideserf cakes and tag us when you try these cakes, because I love when you guys tag me, and like I get so excited. Like I'm very proud. I'm like, yay, the tutorial worked, and you guys, you know, like half of the battle I think is trying. People get a little intimidated, but then when you see it, it's like, oh, you're literally just, you know, putting pieces together and then it makes the cake. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is by no means perfect. That's not the point. Also, in the end, you get to eat cake, so no matter what, people are gonna like you. All right. Yes. So, let's see. Yeah, do you guys have any last questions before I go? What'd you say?
There's a lot of questions still.
Oh, really? Well, anyway,
Jesse wants to see our kitchen, not today.
yeah. Well, Dave's actually cooking right now, so we're a little messy in our kitchen. Maybe next time we could show the kitchen. Dave's making ribs, so basically, now that I finish this, I get to go eat ribs, and then I can eat this. So, pretty good. So yeah, you guys, don't forget, if you want to check out Patreon, we're gonna have that contest coming up. I'm gonna do a live video explaining that a little bit more, because I want to figure it out before I let you guys know. I think early next week is when I will, and I'll explain to you guys, how to enter that drawing, and then I will literally make a cake of your design. It's gonna be so fun. So that'll be coming up on patreon.com/sidesurfcakes.
Another super chat from Samantha. Thank you very much.
Ah, thanks, Samantha. Super chat. And then we also have, of course, like I said earlier, the merch. You'll be entered into a drawing up until the 15th, where you might get an additional item from our merch store for free. So that's a fun option. Follow us at Sideserf Cakes. Unless it's Twitter, it's Natalie Sidesurf. And I think that's it.
See you Monday with a new video.
Yeah, we'll see you Monday with the new video. You guys are awesome. Bye.